Hey, what's up, everybody? Super excited to make this video. I've just had a ton of people ask me pretty much exactly what I do, how I make my money, and what my business model is. So, first and foremost, I just want to give Ryan Schnitzler a huge shout out. He really helped me with this sales letter, taught me pretty much what to put in it and why to put certain things into a sales letter and what not to put in there. So I just want to give him a huge shout out for helping me out to help me out build this out. But yeah, basically what this sales letter is going to teach you guys is exactly how I made damn near $200,000 or $198,989 in 6 months, starting my own financial services agency, or really just getting into the financial services agency or the financial services industry. So this is definitely for people who are ambitious, people who are hungry, people who are not allergic to hard work, and for people who want to have that financial location and time freedom. And this is all you can achieve all of this without needing a background in sales, marketing, or entrepreneurship, because I did not have a background in anything. Before doing this, before getting into financial services, literally all I did was serve tables at night at a Mexican restaurant, and I was also a welder by day. So I had no sales experience and no marketing experience or entrepreneurship experience. Actually, I'll take that back. I kind of had entrepreneurship experience just because I started my own car detailing business in high school, but still, I had very limited experience. So let's jump into the first thing here. And the first thing here is proof. So I want to prove to you guys that I actually did what I say I did in the actual title. And I want to prove to you that this industry just works as a whole. And so while I was serving and while I was a welder, I was negative 600 or negative $764.26 in my checking account with Chase. And I was also $5,000 in debt. Now you might be asking, dude, you had two jobs. How the hell were you negative money in the bank account? Well, I was 18, 19, and I lived in LA by myself. So living in LA is very expensive for someone who like makes 100 grand a year. And I was not making even close to that as an 18, 19-year-old. So every time I'd get paid, all of my money would literally go to bills, and I would be negative at the end of the month and have to basically live off of a credit card. And so here is just a screenshot of my actual bank account. You can see I'm $5,000 in debt here with a credit card, and I was negative $800 in my checking account. And here is an actual screenshot of my 1099. It says not official 1099 right here, just because this is only showing a 6-month period. This is not showing a 12-month period. But I started financial services in June, so halfway through the year. So this is from June to the end of December or January of the next following year. And so you can see here, it is very tiny, but hopefully you guys can see that okay. It's $198,989.62. And so that's what I made in literally 6 months of being in high ticket financial services sales. At that point, I did not have an agency. I did not have a team of salespeople that I was mentoring and coaching. I was literally just selling on my own, just selling high ticket financial services to upper middle class and the upper class. And so that's not even the best part, right? Because if I scroll down here, I'm going to show you actual screenshot of commission cycles that get posted every Tuesday and every Friday. What's nice about financial services is that we get paid 9 times a month. We get paid every Tuesday and every Friday, and then we also get paid on the 31st. So that's why we get paid 9 times a month. And this is just a screenshot from July 31st, so about a month ago, of just a commission of a random 31st. So again, like I said, we get paid on the 31st. So July 31st, this is just one commission statement of all the guys who are on my sales team. And so Mario had a great month, or he had a great payday, 14,000, 13,000. We see a few 7,000s, few 6,000s, few 5,000s, few 4,000s, few 2,000s, and a lot of 1,000s. And so there's about 20 to 25 names on here of all people who are part of my sales team and in the financial services industry. And if we scroll down here, we can see what people ended off the month with. And so, Daniel absolutely killed it, had a $170,000 a month. Eric did pretty good, $165,000 a month. Levi did really good, $123,000 a month. And you can kind of see multiple people, or one person had $80,000 a month, $60,000 a month, $50,000 a month, $50,000 a month. Multiple people had 40K a month, a lot of people had 30K months, and a lot of people had 20K months. And so you can see like there's a lot of names on here, right? There's about 35 names on here. And that should just signify to you or show you that a lot of people are winning in the financial services industry. I'm going to touch more on the industry as a whole later in this video, but I just want to point that out to you guys that there is definitely money to be made in financial services. Financial services is the highest paying industry in America. And I have some proof that I'm going to kind of pull up here as well. But again, who is this for, right? This is for people, again, who are not allergic to hard work. This was not easy. I spent a lot of time closing clients. I spent a lot of time creating a market, getting into the right market, making the right connections, learning the products, learning sales, learning marketing. And so if you're already well-versed in sales, marketing, and entrepreneurship and all that stuff, then this will be easier for you. But luckily, you guys will have me as like a mentor. And so even if you have no sales experience, no marketing experience, no entrepreneurship experience, then I can just basically teach you what not to do because I learned the hard way. I've been doing this for 2 years already. And so I've had a lot of successes, but I've had a lot of failures as well. And so I want to help you guys avoid those failures at all costs. But I do want to let it be known, you will put in the work. You will have to put in the work if you want to be successful. All these names, all these guys and girls that I was showing you guys earlier, Caitlin, Peter, Carlos, Alexander, Lucy, Patricia, Chip, Juan, Mario, like all these guys and girls like Robert, Jawan, Christine, like all these people, they are animals. They're killers, right? And that's why they're doing so well. And you can too, because when I first came in, my back was against the wall. I needed to make money or I was fucked. So if you have that same type of mindset, you don't have to be in a really bad position to do well here, right? If you just put your focus in, you go all in, then you can absolutely have a ton of success in this, just like anything, right? If you put your all into one thing, then you're going to be really good at that one thing. Robert Greene's my favorite author, and he has this book called Mastery. And I would definitely recommend reading it. And it just talks about how important it is to really master a craft. And for me, it was a mixture of sales and marketing, entrepreneurship, and just financial services as a whole. I've really mastered it, which is how I'm able to make so much money in financial services. And it's such an untapped industry. It's all old. It's all 60, 50, 40-year-old white men. That's what it is. And so I've definitely come into the picture and I've changed the industry a ton. I was literally the first person who brought in social media marketing to the financial services industry. Everyone told me I would run into problems with compliance. Everyone was telling me that that's an unorthodox way to do it. No one's going to take you seriously. You need to have a website. You need to be established. You need an office. Fuck all that. I did it virtually. I did it with social media. I did it without a website, and I was 19. And so I proved all those people wrong, and I've come in and I've hired on nothing. I've brought on nothing but young, ambitious men and women who are doing it the exact same way I'm doing, and we're blowing these motherfuckers out of the water. All these guys who are 40, 50, 60, who've done financial services one way are literally like now asking me questions. And it's just funny because they were the ones putting me down, telling me it's never going to work. And now they're asking me for help, right? And so those are the type of people that I'm looking for. Who this is not for. Unfortunately, if you do not live in the United States, this opportunity is not for you. We only offer financial services in the United States and Canada. We are working on making our financial services global, but that probably won't be for another year or two, or maybe even longer. Lots of paperwork, lots of lawyers and stuff to kind of deal with on that end, but we are working towards it. But as of right now, you have to live in the United States. If you live in Canada, that will also work. I do just want to make a note. There's a lot of paperwork that you have to do if you're from Canada, but if you're in the United States, it's super easy. You can get onboarded with us right away. Again, not for people who are allergic to hard work, not for lazy people. This is not a get rich quick scheme, right? You're not going to jump in here and just start having 30K months, 40K months, $170,000 months, right? That's not going to happen if you're lazy or if you're allergic to hard work, right? You have to be a United States citizen. You have to have a United States social security number. You can't just be like, visiting, but you're from, Italy, but you're in the United States. You have to be a United States citizen and live inside of the United States or Canada. And so the thesis, right? So like, what really are we doing? What is financial services? What do we do? What products do we offer? What services do we offer? What the heck do we do, right? So essentially, there's a big problem in the United States, and the problem is a lack of financial literacy. Damn near everybody is financially illiterate. No one knows how to set up their personal finances to be successful. No one knows where to put their money. No, like the amount of people that I've sat down with, very wealthy people too, this fucking blows my mind. The amount of people I've sat down with, and they're like, oh, my grandparents just passed away, or my parents just passed away, and they handed me over like $1 million, or I just got written a check for like $600,000, or whatever it may be, and they don't know where to put it. It's just sitting inside of a savings account, earning less than 1% interest, and they're not even outpacing inflation, right? Or they're gonna put it in the stock market, which is not really the best idea, just simply due to the fact that now you're putting your money at risk, and if you ever want to touch that money and use it, now you're going to be susceptible to capital gains tax, right? And our clients don't want to deal with that. They don't want to deal with risk. They don't want to deal with taxes, and they don't want to deal with a lot of those issues. And so that's where we come in, right? So once you become a financial professional with us, and again, basically, let's just think of YouTube. Sorry that I'm kind of going everywhere. I'm just going like top of my head. I don't really want to read this because I'll just sound like a robot if I read the thesis, and I don't really want to sound like that. So think of YouTube. YouTube is a platform. The people who are creating content on YouTube don't work for YouTube. They're just using the platform to get paid. That is the exact same business model with us. There is a broker dealer or a brokerage or a firm that you will join, which is our firm, our broker dealer. And they allow you to white label an agency, right? So I've white labeled my agency as Rush Financial just because the name that I go by is Ryan Rush. It's like my nickname is Ryan Rush. So I was like, fuck it, I'll just name it Rush Financial. And so basically, I white labeled my own agency. I didn't have an agency for the first 2 years. All I did was just sell, just as an independent, just like someone can just make videos as an independent on the platform of YouTube. What's really nice about the financial services industry, and it's specifically about our broker dealer, is that the broker dealer has already made connections and relationships with all of the biggest AAA+ rated, very reputable financial institutions in America. So basically what the broker dealer does is the broker dealer gives you a platform for you to basically attach or hang your license. This is just like real estate. When you become a real estate agent, you hang your license with a brokerage. Now you can use all of the resources of the brokerage to now go sell. That's the exact same concept that's happening here, guys. I hung my license with a broker dealer or a brokerage for the first 2 years, and all I did was sell. And I sold the products from all the financial institutions. So there's like 82 of them. And then I got to the point where I got a little burnt out. I was killing it. Again, made $200,000 in 6 months. I'm 19 years old. I'm on top of the world. I started traveling. I started spending money. Like I'm just having a ball, right? But I was getting very tired of not having time freedom. I had location freedom and I had financial freedom, right? I could spend freely because I was making a shit ton of money every month. And I could also go anywhere in the world because as long as I have Wi-Fi on my laptop, I can sit down, close on Zoom, right? But I wanted that time freedom, and I was getting very tired of jumping on like 8 to 12 Zooms a day, constantly closing. It was starting to feel very repetitive, and I didn't really like that. What's amazing about the financial services agency, and I feel like there's a lot of you who are probably watching this who are in high ticket sales, and you've probably felt the same way. You're like, man, sales is awesome. I make my own hours. I have the freedom to spend freely because I'm making so much money in high ticket sales. But I've plateaued. A lot of people in sales feel this way. They end up plateauing because they can only talk to X amount of people per day. There's only X amount of hours in the day, and there's only X amount of money at the end of the day that you can make because you'll eventually plateau. I was burnt out and I plateaued in my income. I kept making the same amount of money every month. I really couldn't bump up my monthly income too much just because, again, I'm only one guy. So what's amazing is that they allow you to then go from to end up being a broker, and then you could start your own agency, and then you can white label an agency. And that's exactly what I did, and that's exactly why I'm making this video. So at the beginning of the year, or around the transition from first quarter to second quarter of the year, I transitioned to, okay, I'm not going to sell anymore, or I'm going to sell way less, but now I'm going to build a team. I want to build a team of sales killers. I want to build a team of people that I like, people who I want to hang out with, and people who I want to build up. And that's exactly what I've been doing. Right now, we have 30 sales reps within the agency. I've now built out a team of 30 people. Literally this weekend, we're going to Lake Tahoe. We're all getting together. We're all going to hang out just because our whole entire office, like everything's virtual, everything's on Zoom. And I love connecting with all of my sales reps because honestly, they've all become really good friends. And it's just, it's awesome. It's a great community of guys and girls, and it's really awesome. And so that's what I loved about the business model, is that I wish I would have transitioned to building an agency way sooner, simply just due to the fact that I have all the time freedom in the world now. I have trainers within the agency where I bring on a new sales rep. I have a trainer who will train this person to be an absolute stud to where that they can go ahead and perform. I just pretty much do mentoring and coaching now. A lot of mindset. The business is honestly 90% mindset, 10% actually like sales skills, marketing skills, and stuff like that. I think a lot of people would agree when it comes to sales or just business in general, so much of it is mindset. And that's pretty much what I do now. And so that is the thesis. So I didn't really jump into the products at all. So I'll talk on that right now. So what we sell is cash value life insurance. Now, I know you probably just threw up in your mouth a little bit because I said life insurance. Now, let me just get this straight, just so that you guys know. This is not your traditional regular life insurance that you're thinking of. This is not term life insurance. It's not final expense. This is not that bullshit life insurance that you've probably heard of before. This is cash value life insurance. This is the life insurance that Ray Kroc used to create McDonald's. This is the life insurance product that Walt Disney used to take loans out to then start Disney. This is the life insurance that the Rockefellers used to keep their wealth within the family. So, and we don't only do cash value life insurance either. We help families set up trusts. We help families set up estate plans. We help family create legacy planning. Also cash value life insurance. Like we do a ton of stuff, but our bread and butter is cash value life insurance. Now, this is the cool thing about cash value life insurance. It's basically an investment vehicle just underneath the umbrella of life insurance. So basically, we're putting our clients' money or capital into a high yield savings account that earns interest tax-free with zero market risk. And so you're basically treating it like a Roth IRA, or you're basically treating it like the S&P 500 because the cash value life insurance actually tracks the S&P 500, which is awesome. A lot of people really like that. But this is the difference. You're underneath the umbrella of life insurance, which means it's not an investment, which means you're not being taxed as an investment, which means you don't pay capital gains tax, which means they don't penalize you for touching your money, which means you don't have to pay taxes and penalties for touching your money prematurely before the age of 59 and a half, which means that it grows on a different growth strategy. So every like the Roth IRA, stock market, stocks, bonds, mutual funds, index funds, all those things grow at a variable growth strategy, which means you can make money, but you can also lose money. The IUL, which is the product that we sell, which is cash value life insurance, is an index growth strategy. So what that means is that you only participate in the upward trend of the stock market without participating in the downward trend of the stock market, because there's a 0% floor that's written into the contract of the cash value life insurance. So I don't really expect you guys to really follow along with that last part, just simply due to the fact that you're not in the industry, you don't really know the lingo. But we basically just help investors scale portfolios smarter, faster, and safer using cash value life insurance, right? That's what we do. And so we talk to upper middle class and the upper class, right? So we're talking to people who are making a lot of money, who are already pretty financially savvy, who are looking for alternative vehicles to place capital into. And we get paid based off of how much money our clients are placing into our actual financial vehicles. The other thing that we sell is the FIA, which is a fixed index annuity. So if someone has money in a 401k, Roth IRA, if they just got money in a inheritance, or if they just have a large lump sum of cash, then they can roll that money over tax-free into that vehicle. And now they'll have something that's called income for life, where they'll never run out of money. They'll have that money in there until they die. And so I hope that answers a lot of your guys' questions on the thesis. I know I spent a lot of time on the thesis, so I'm going to go ahead and keep moving. But yeah, this is my background. Basically, just a lower middle class kid that was born in a country farm town in northern Illinois called DeKalb, Illinois. I've always wanted more. I've always had this like spark or this feeling of that I knew I was going to do great things with my life, and I knew I was going to do something big, and I knew I was going to do something unorthodox. This is why I have this hat right here, the black sheep hat. If you're an entrepreneur and if you're watching this video, you probably feel the exact same way. You probably feel like you're the black sheep in your family. You're the black sheep in your friend group. You're just the person who's always been different. You're the person who's always wanted more. You're the person who's just like really strived to be something greater than just average. Average is the enemy. And so in high school, I started my own car detailing business, and I grew that up exponentially. I really blew that business up. I didn't know at the time, but I was doing door-to-door sales. I would knock on all of the neighborhoods in my entire town. I'd knock on everyone's door with a flyer of basically like, hey, get your car detailed by me. Here's my phone number. Call me or text me, basically. And if they didn't answer, I'd put it in their mailbox. If they answered, I'd try to get them to have me detail their car. But even before that, when I was in elementary school, middle school, I was raking people's yards in the fall. I was shoveling driveways in the winter. I was mowing lawns in the summer. I was picking weeds and stuff for people in the spring. I was cleaning gutters in the fall. Like, I was always doing whatever it took to make money, just due to the fact that, you know, my parents were always in debt. My parents were always paycheck to paycheck. And if I wanted something nice, I'd have to work for it and buy it myself. I hated having the off-brand shit. I hated, you know, shopping at like Old Navy instead of like Dick's. I hated having like the Under Armour cleats in football instead of like the Nike Vapors, the most expensive cleats, right? How many of your parents were like, why do you want the most expensive one, right? That's like so ingrained into my brain, always like picking something out, and my parents being like, no, that's the most expensive one. And I'm like, well, I don't know what to tell you, that's the one I like. So I would literally rather work and get the one that I wanted than to have my parents buy like the cheaper off-brand version. And so I'm actually very thankful for that, because it really motivated me and really taught me to work hard. And it's obviously molded me into the man that I am today. And I'm very thankful for that, because now I get to share my story, and I get to start this business and hopefully help you have a very similar success story, right? And so saved up all my money from my car detailing business when I was in high school, packed up all my shit right after graduating high school, moved to Los Angeles by myself at age 18. I just felt like I needed to be in California. All of the people who I looked up to lived in California. Funny now, everyone lives in Miami. But when I was growing up, when I was in high school and everything, everyone was in LA. And so I moved up there. Didn't know anybody, didn't have any friends, didn't do anything. I went to college, hated it, dropped out, started welding, started working as a server at a restaurant. And at welding every day, I would listen to audiobooks. I listened to Rich Dad Poor Dad, listened to a lot of his podcasts and stuff like that. And I really wanted to get into real estate. And so then COVID happened. And so then at that point, I had a lot of free time. I would always be on Clubhouse listening to real estate investors talk about how they got into real estate. Ended up creating a connection, would ask them all questions. And I was like, yo, what the hell did you do to make money to start investing in real estate? Every single person said sales. That blew my mind right away. I was like, interesting. I need to get into sales. So I specifically asked one of the guys, hey, what was the specific thing that you sold? And he said life insurance. Or he said the financial services industry, but it ended up being life insurance. And I was like, ugh, life insurance? That sounds fucking lame. But then he was like, no, this isn't your regular type of life insurance. This is high ticket life insurance sales. And I was like, what do you mean? And he basically started telling me everything I'm telling you guys today. So it's funny how this is all kind of going full circle. But yeah, that's pretty much my story. And then after I asked him about that, I started in financial services sales. And now I'm talking to you guys today. So that's pretty much my story. Insights. So timing is everything, guys. So if you look it up, highest paying industry in America, finance comes up number one. Financial services is number one. And this is the best time to get into financial services, just simply due to the fact that so many baby boomers are starting to retire. And we are in the midst of something that Forbes is calling the Great Wealth Transfer, where over $30 trillion is going to be transferred from baby boomers to Gen Z and millennials. And baby boomers need our help so that they can get everything set up with their trusts and their wills and everything so that their money gets transferred properly. All of the Gen Z and millennials need our help because once they receive all this capital, they need a place to put it. And so this is the best time to get into the financial services industry, hands down by far. And then I took a screenshot of this Forbes article that talks exactly about what I just mentioned, that baby boomer, the generation born between 1944 and 1964, expect to transfer $30 trillion in wealth to younger generations. So if you just want a little sliver of that $30 trillion pie, you will be a multimillionaire, if not a billionaire. I totally plan on being a billionaire. I will say that. I hope a lot of people see this. I hope a lot of people remember this and hold me accountable to it, but I will become a billionaire and it will be in the financial services industry. I know that for a fact. And you can do the same shit if you just believe in yourself and work hard. So this is kind of our system. So let's just say you're like, Ryan, this sounds awesome. I want to join your firm and I want to sell. I want to sell financial services and eventually maybe I'll start my own agency. So if that's you, that is freaking awesome. And here's kind of the step-by-step. So new associate, basically, you're just getting onboarded into our broker-dealer. I already explained that. Pre-licensing, we're managing people's money. You have to get licensed. We'll get you signed up for pre-licensing. It's very simple. You just take a course required by the state, and then you take a test after. And then after that, then boom, you have a license to sell now. Client experience. So basically we want to train you on all of the products, right? We want to show you and walk you through what our clients go through. You'll learn our presentations. You'll learn how to use Zoom if you somehow don't know how to use Zoom already. So yeah, lots of stuff there. 117. So basically in the first 7 days of you being in the brokerage, we basically want to get a good idea if you're going to go fast, or if you're going to go slow. So if you're going to go slow, then I'm going to put you up with one of the trainers and you'll just train with one of the trainers. If I identify that you are a very fast learner, you're a go-getter, then I'm going to personally lock and go with you. And I'm going to personally train you and I'm going to take you under my wing. So basically, if you can't get one deal closed or get a business partner in your first 7 days, then I'm just going to be like, okay, this guy's like just going with the flow. I'm going to match that person up with a business partner so that they can actually get trained by them. But if I identify, I'm like, holy shit, this guy's a stud, then I personally want to work with you. So that's what we'll do there. And then the onboarding is like just you reading a couple books. Definitely going to be reading $1 Million Leads by Alex Hormozi, so you can learn all the ways to generate leads. And then also one book called Money, Wealth, Life Insurance, which teaches you how the Rockefellers use cash value life insurance, how the banks use cash value life insurance, how the number 1% elite rich use it. And then basically you have like a crystal clear understanding of basically how the cash value life insurance concept works, so that you can then start talking to people about it and start closing deals. Post-licensing process, super freaking easy. Set up your direct deposit. That's pretty much what it is. Business plan, basically I want to sit down with you and I want to be like, dude, where do you want to be in 90 days? Okay, perfect. Now let's build out a plan so that you can absolutely execute on that, because I want you to hit your goals, guys. Like I think what you guys need to realize is a lot of people will probably watch this and be like, okay, why is this guy not charging, $6,000 as a coaching program to show you what he did? Or why is this guy not turn this into a course and just sold it for like $1,200 or something? Here's why. Because at the end of the day, you guys need to realize that when you join the broker dealer, you're going to be within Rush Financial, my agency. And so my goal is to make sure that you execute on your goals, because your goals are going to be oriented around making money. And I want you guys to make money. I'm incentivized to make sure that I'm the best coach and leader and mentor as possible. And my goal is to make sure that you make as much money as possible, because all the money that you make is a reflection of the agency itself. And I'm going to be honest, I want to have the biggest, largest financial services agency in the United States. Whenever people get financial services done, I want them to say that they got it done by Rush Financial. I want to have the biggest agency that there's ever been. I want to be able to service all 300 million people that live in the United States and eventually the globe. And I'm not going to be able to do that if you can't even hit your 90-day goal. So the business plan is absolutely crucial. Grand opening. So let's just say you started a restaurant. What are you going to do? You're going to have a grand opening. You're going to tell everybody about your restaurant and you're going to have a grand opening. So why the hell would you not do that when you get into the financial services industry, right? Basically, the grand opening is like you let everybody who you know that you're in the financial services industry, and that you're basically going to host like a webinar on Zoom and basically just tell everybody about the financial services that you will now be offering. Some people will be like, cool, thanks for the invite. I got some information out of that, whatever, and they'll walk away. Others will be like, wow, what you just went over was awesome. How can we work together? And worst case scenario, we get a few referrals, right? Just because I want you to have a good jump start. I want you to get in here, get licensed, get trained, have a grand opening, close some deals right away, get paid a lot. Because the average close is about $3,000 to $5,000. You do that freaking 5 times in 1 month, you've already made $25,000. So, yeah. And then training appointments, right? So basically all the people who end up wanting to book a time on your calendar from your grand opening are going to be your training appointments. What's a training appointment? Me or the person training you is going to be on the Zoom with you, close that deal for you, and you're going to be sitting there taking notes, basically learning my presentation, learning how I close, listening to the verbiage I'm using, seeing how I frame the call live as you're sitting on the call. We'll pretty much do that for about 10 training appointments. And at that point, you should have the presentation on lock. You should be able to close deals effortlessly because you've seen me close, or your trainer close live right in front of you 10 times. Some people just need to see one close and they got it. Some people need to have like 12 or 15. It all just depends on how good you are at sales and how good you are at learning. Like, how fast of a learner are you? Net recruit literally just means that you made your first $1,000 in the business. I really try to have you become a net recruit in like your first 2 weeks, first 3 weeks. Earn promotion. Basically, these are the different titles. So a training associate, you'll earn 25% commission. So for example, if somebody is putting in $12,000 a year into an IUL, your commission is 25% of $12,000. Again, if you're an associate, 35%, senior associate, 45%, marketing director, 55%, senior marketing director, 65%. And so, for example, if someone, again, put in $12,000 into an IUL every year or $1,000 a month, then your commission is a 65% of whatever they put in 1 year, right? I'm actually about to get paid my biggest payday ever. A guy's putting in $6.5 million a year into an IUL for the first 10 years. And I'm about to make 65% of that, which ends up coming out to about $2.4 million. So I'm about to get paid a $2.4 million commission. And I cannot wait for that, because this is going to be the absolute best testimonial ever for me to literally show a direct deposit of $2.4 million going into my bank account. So I'm very excited for that. Knock on wood that shit goes through. Certified field trainer just means that basically you've gone through all these steps and you can teach somebody else how to go through it, right? You can become a trainer yourself. Where was I? Yes. And then Leadership Factory. So Leadership Factory is awesome. You guys need to do whatever it takes to get inside of Leadership Factory. Basically, there are people in the financial services agent industry. Not sure if you guys know who Ed Milet is, or who Patrick Bet-David is, or who Brad Lee is, but they're all in the financial services industry. They all do the exact same thing that I do. So if you guys have ever wondered how Patrick Bet-David made his money, or how Brad Lee made his money, or how Ed Milet made his money, they all made their money doing the exact same thing that I'm doing, and they all made their money doing the exact same thing that I'm about to teach you to do. And so you get mentorship from these guys. I don't know if you guys follow me on Twitter. If you're seeing this, you probably follow me on Twitter, but I've posted pictures of me literally being on Zoom with Ed Milet and him getting training from us. So when you get inducted into the Leadership Factory, you have to be like a top 20 earner or agent, or you just need to be killing it, and you'll pretty much get inducted into the Leadership Factory. And every Friday you will be getting mentorship. It's like you and 20 other people are literally in a mastermind with Ed Milet, with this guy named Mario, or with a guy named Eric, or other people who are making multiple millions of dollars doing the exact same thing as you. And you get to pick their brains, you get to ask them questions, you get to be like, hey, I'm struggling with X, Y, Z. How would you recommend that I fix these things in my business so that I can start making a lot more money, right? So you definitely want to qualify for the Leadership Factory, and then qualify for an SMD. This is when you hit your broker position. You've now gone from like a life insurance agent to a life insurance broker. Now you can start your own agency, and now you can go ahead and start building a massive team of sales reps, so that now instead of being like self-employed and trading your time for money and only making money when you're on Zoom closing people, now you can move across the cash flow quadrant that Robert Kiyosaki created, so where now you're a business owner. Now you're leveraging all your sales agents and all your sales reps to start making more money. Now I don't plateau anymore, right? My income will never plateau. If I want to make more money, I need to bring on more sales reps, right? And I could have an infinite number of sales reps, right? And so that means I can make an infinite amount of money, right? So very exciting stuff there. Let's see, old way versus new way. So I'll kind of go over this a little bit. The old way of making money online, right? Or is just like drop shipping. You gotta front like 10 grand for that. You have to try multiple different products before you identify a winner. You have to run paid ads against those, or you could try to do TikTok organic, but really all your videos are only going to do like 200 views, and then you're going to get frustrated, and then you're going to quit, right? There's SMMA, social media marketing agency. That's already gone. That already got replaced with AI automation, and then that'll eventually, no, there was SaaS, but like that was slivered right in between there. So all these different business models, SSMA, starting a SaaS, starting a software. Now it's AI automation. It's going to be something else tomorrow, right? And so financial services is never going to go away. No matter whether we start using CBDCs, we start using crypto, we don't use a fiat dollar anymore. It doesn't matter what the hell the currency is. People are still going to need help with financial services. This industry is not a fad. It's been around since the dawn of time, and it'll never go away. This industry will forever be one of the most needed industries in the world, which is why it's the highest paying industry in the world. Just wanted to touch on that again. And yeah, that is pretty much everything that I want to go over, everything that you'll get when you join our agency, step-by-step trainings, weekly trainings, sales assets, coaching and mentoring. Again, we have a huge community of a ton of amazing people that, will eventually be really good friends of yours. We have agents all across the entire country. We do trips every single quarter. We were in the Dominican Republic. Before that, we went to Jamaica. Before that, we went to Hawaii. And then again, literally this weekend, we're going to go up to Lake Tahoe, and we're going to be hanging out there. And so, yeah, I really hope that you guys got something out of this video. Again, guys, there's always a link in my bio to book a call with me, personally me. So if you want to jump on a call with me, learn more about this opportunity, or if you've heard enough and you're honestly just like, man, this sounds really legit. This definitely sounds like something that I want to move forward with. I want to join Rush Financial, become a high ticket financial services closer, eventually become an agency owner. Then go ahead. I invite you to click the link in my bio so that we can get you onboarded. Or if you just have some more questions and want to learn more about it, feel free to book a time on my calendar so that I can answer all those questions, walk you through some more things, show you some more digital assets if you want to see that. But I am going to be slowly posting more and more and more on my Twitter to kind of give you guys more of an idea of exactly what I do. But this is pretty much an entire breakdown of everything. I don't really know what else I could talk about. But again, if you made it this far in the video, thank you. And I'm very excited to meet you here soon on Zoom. So with that, enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you.